Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is a new sci-fi film directed by Luc Besson of Fifth Element fame, and it has a lot of potential, but overall it is just such a mess and has some of the worst dialogue I've seen in a while.
An unknown force wants to destroy all we have created.
Agents Valerian and Laureline, you have less than 10 hours to find the threat and eliminate it.
Let's get to work.
So the movie starts with this beautiful scene of these aliens on this beach world. And, they look a little bit like the Avatar aliens, but more sea-based. But it's really cool, and they're just kind of living, and this one main character, it's like the person you're following is like a princess, and she's just enjoying her day. And it's beautiful. It's really cool, but then, some ships crash down onto the Earth and kind of onto the planet and destroy it. And, that's, like, before she dies, she sends out some sort of signal, and that, finds Dame DeHaan, and, he lived through the last moments of her life. And, that's the setup for, the later things in the film. And that's a really cool start to a film, and really, I was like, oh, this is really cool. But then, Dame DeHaan and Cara Delevingne started interacting, and it's like, oh, this is what the movie's gonna be. Okay, I just want to know. Okay, so it's not gonna be that cool first part. It's gonna be them bickering among each other for 2 hours. Great. Like, those two lead actors are such a weird choice for your leads, because they haven't really done anything, and they're in a movie that cost like hundreds of millions of dollars. I think it's like the most expensive independent movie ever made. And Dame DeHaan, he's done a couple of films. He was okay in that one horror film earlier this year, but everything else he's done, he's not been good. And Cara Delevingne has done like 3 films now, and she hasn't been good in any of them. Like, she's not horrible, but not good. And you rely on them, and then you give them bad dialogue, and then you tell them to try to act around it, and they just can't. Like, Cara Delevingne, she's so kind of blank-faced, and you can tell she feels like she's just reading lines. And Dame DeHaan, he has this weird thing where he's like, I'm a soldier. It's who I am. I follow the rules. It's like he's trying to be a poor man's Judge Dredd or something. And, like, he's supposed to be, like, the universe's best soldier. And he is so freaking scrawny. Like, he is so, like, weak-looking. And, like, all skin and bones. And he's supposed to be a soldier. And he doesn't look like a soldier at all. It's so odd. Like, why would you get him to play a soldier? And, like, they never really explain it. Like, and they're both young, too. But somehow they're, like, the 2 best soldiers around. And they don't explain anything about it. But then you get these moments of intense info dumps where it is so obvious. Like, they can't even make it so that it fits into the story. It's just like, hey, can you give me an info dump about this thing going on in the station? And they're like, okay. And the robot does a voice like it describes 4 of the aliens that live there randomly. Because, they're important because later in the, from the scene in the trailer when he's running through the different worlds, you'll see them. So, you should know who they are first. And it's so weird that they should know this stuff. Like, I mean, they don't explain that, hey, we haven't been here in a while. Can you give us an update on what's going on in this world? And and it doesn't work. And the world building is just so strained. It's not interwoven at all into the story. It's just these info dumps of everything that you need to know about the world in such a blatant way that it just drags the film down. And that as a whole, I mean, the film's only like 2 hours, but it drags at times. It feels long. But at the same time, there's not that much that goes on. It's weird. There's this repeating thing where they're together, then they get separated, then the one has to save the other, then the other one get separated again, the other has to save that, and then they have to save them, and they go back and forth like that. And before they can actually save them, the person by himself have to go on a side quest to get things they need to go to save them. And sometimes they're so blatant. Like one with when Cara Delevingne has to find Dame DeHaan at one point. That one makes a little more sense. But still, she should be able to just go right where he was last known, and he crashed right after, so he should be right in that area. But instead, she has to do this thing where she goes these 3 stupid alien creatures that are so stupid and weird. I assume they must be from the canon. They must be from the books. But they're not good. But thankfully they eventually just disappear randomly, and there's no point to them. But there's a later one where Dame DeHaan has to save Kara, and he just he has weapons, and there's one of these aliens just kidnapped her, and she couldn't fight back for some reason. And he's sitting there watching, and there's a couple of other aliens around them, but he could have killed them all and gotten her back like that. But instead, he has to go to the Pleasure District to find something that can give him a disguise, like one of the shapeshifters or something. And there's this whole long side quest. And I like this side quest. That's what's goofy. Because there are moments that are cool, and you get more of this world and what it's like. And you get, at the end, you get a battle scene among these giant aliens. And there's some funny moments too with Cara Delevingne where they're giving her a dress and stuff, and they're a little goofy, but they're kind of cool. But at the end of this side plot, it doesn't matter at all. Once that part is over, they could have skipped that whole 20, or maybe over 20-minute section. It's a decent part of the film, and you could cut the whole thing and just have some reference where they get covered in trash, and it'd be fine. You have no reason for any of the things that happen in there. And the goofiest thing is that you could have interwoven a character that you meet. You could have easily interwoven that into the story later on, but they don't. So it's pointless. So they have this big bad in the film, and it's Clive Owen. I mean, a spoiler, but not a spoiler. And when the second you see him, you know that, okay, he's a bad guy. Okay, he has those robots following around them. They're going to come into play later. Okay, simple. There's no, trying to hide it. There's no, he's doesn't act like he's a good guy, or they're he's going to help them. That's not for 1 second do you not realize that, okay, he's a douchebag. He's going to be the villain. And they disappear, though, for a while, and they don't really do anything that villainous. He does something towards the end, but it's just, he's not a good villain for them to fight. And throughout the film, the dialogue is just so bad. It's it's written by a child. Or, and I don't know why they couldn't just, if you're going to spend so much money on the visual effects, why not hire someone to write good dialogue? And, it really hampers the film. Even when there are cool moments, it's almost always hampered by shit dialogue. And I really think that this movie has potential. This story and these characters have potential if it was done right. But, I mean, there are some very cool moments in this film. I really enjoyed some moments. But it's just, that I don't know, it's weird. And that's what I'd say, I'm going to go a little further in how I would have fixed the film. Instead of just talking about everything I did wrong, I'm saying how I would have fixed it if I was involved somehow. Now, to do this, though, I do have to do full spoilers for the film. So if you haven't seen it and want to see it, you probably should stop the video now. I give the film a 6 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is enjoyable to watch the film slightly in theaters. So right off the beginning, I would not have hired Dame DeHaan and Cara Delevingne as the leads. And I would have hired someone that actually looked like soldiers. Or something like that. But, if you have to have them, okay, fine. But then take Dame DeHaan, put him in a gym with and put him in a program all the Marvel superhero actors go through. And have him bulk up at least a little bit. And, take Cara Delevingne and have her go to an acting school for a while. And, once you have them going, when you start the film, don't have them bickering so much. No one likes to watch people just bicker for no reason. It immediately makes you dislike the characters. The first time you see them, they're like having like a weird play fight and they're arguing amongst each other. And like, are they a couple? Are they not a couple? I guess they're not a couple. But then he asked her to marry him out of the blue, and it's like, you're not even dating. Why are you asking her to marry you? It doesn't make any sense. And it's weird. So just instead, have them be a couple. Have them be married already. That doesn't change anything by doing that. It just makes them not be douchebags to each other. Have them... you already don't know anything about these characters. You don't know any of their backstory. You never get any characterization for them. You don't know who they are at any time other than that they're soldiers and they're partners. So have them, be soldiers that have been married. Then you don't have to worry about all of that goofy fighting about his past conquests and, all the shenanigans. Just erase all that dialogue and write some new stuff. A better beginning for them to have, like, when you first see them. Also, I think, have them be in the middle of a mission. And have them be doing some cool stuff. Have them destroying some things. Have some action right off the bat would be a great way to introduce them. And then say after they've done, they completed their mission, then they get another call for a new mission while they're about to go on vacation. And they say, well, we need you to go to this world and steal the replicator thing. And that's the way, that replicator thing is so stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But, you can keep that and explain it or do something with it. So when you get to that world, the market world with the multi-dimensional thing, there's a lot of cool stuff there. You can keep, like, all of that. But, when you get the John Goodman character, that big alien, like, it's weird. He says that, I'm going to hunt you, like, I'm never going to, as you quarter the universe, I'm going to get you. So I thought that was foreshadowing for later in the movie. For them, they were going to have to fight them off. So, if you're going to do that, bring them back. Unless they're trying to set up a sequel. But when they get to the station, instead of just having random AI giving them details about it, have them explore a little bit. Or have them do something cool at the station before the movie goes on. Show, don't tell. Actually have them, like, visit some cool areas or something. Or do something instead of just having randomly being told random facts about this station. And the way they started off this one was really cool, but, like, we showed them as it grew, like, over the years, how that station grew and they met all the different aliens. They do more things kind of like that. So when you get to the actual story, I say that try not to separate them that much. Because, what's the point of them having to chase after each other? It's kind of annoying. But I see the purpose of doing that. And if you do that, when you get to the main side plot where Dame DeHaan goes off to the pleasure district and all that stuff, and Rihanna is kind of cool. Her character is cool. But don't kill her off. Like, when you kill her off, it makes that whole character pointless and the whole side plot pointless. And, you have something maybe that there's a reason that he couldn't go get Cara Delevingne right then. Because, especially later on, he doesn't have a problem with killing them. He, like, kills their king and all these other people. So he could have killed the 3 guards that are around her, right off the beginning, and they completely avoided this whole side plot. So but I can see the side quests, all the stuff that happens there are kind of cool. And they get to see more of the seedy underworld of this station. And has cool moments. So, keep all that, but at the end, don't have Rihanna get killed. And you use her character later on, because you could very easily slip her into the main storyline. Where, at one point they don't have DNA sequencing, but they try to get the general to talk and tell them to not blow them up. And you could have used her, like, as the shapeshift into the general, or I think I'm general commander, and have him tell them not to do that. And then he could maybe fought them, and then he could have given the signal to the robots to attack. Or something. You could have done something with that. And they could even have, like, her be healed by these other aliens. And you could have them, like, she could become one of them and she could go off and live with them or something. And do something interesting with her. And actually make that side quest have a point. So what's the whole thing where, again, the info dump towards the end where the general explains what happened with the battle and they crashed on this world and destroyed it, and all these people. And that whole thing, they never explain anything about it. Like, the humans are fighting someone, and you don't know who they are. You don't know who they're fighting, why they're fighting, anything. And why he felt the need to explode the ship that would end up exploding their world that has these people in it. And I think that you could have worked in the pearls and the replicators. Because right now, the replicator thing is only from that world. So how does everyone know about it? Like, they read it in their history books or something. How would they know about this replicator thing? It was from that world. Now, you could work that into it, though. Saying maybe that these more primitive aliens, they traded with more technologically advanced aliens, and, you know, they traded the pearls, or they even maybe, like, someone stole one of the replicators, and they found out what it can do, and that the humans and whoever this other alien species realized that this could be really good for us, so they both came to try to conquer this world. But they found each other there, and they fought each other over it, and ended up destroying the world. That could be so simple fix for that. And you could explain things. But they don't even try to explain what happened and why. And in general, they never explained why he's so evil. Like, he's just trying to cover his tracks. But, I mean, what he did, was horrible, but, he was fighting a battle. You know, there was a lot of collateral damage. But, like, he gives an excuse of that it would wreck their economy, and it's like, that's bullshit, it's stupid. And those are the big things that I would change for the film. And, it still wouldn't be great, but it would be so much better if you just did a couple of changes. And, it's disappointing that to have this big sci-fi film fail like this. I love science fiction. I want to see good science fiction. I want to see balls-to-the-wall craziness. And you get this, and then the previous one you had Jupiter Ascending, which was much worse. But still, they're both failures, essentially, to me. And it worries me that people may not try to do really crazy sci-fi. I love science fiction like that, but it's just it needs to be made better. And I don't know what's going to happen, what the future of this film is going to be. But, it could find a following, because there are some cool parts. But I think it's too flawed to ever be known as like an awesome film. But thanks for watching, and you can check out my other video playlists around my head or subscribe to me over there. Thanks.